all of you as a group. So again, my name is Taliah Chatterfield. My title is Community College Relations Coordinator. So basically what that means is that I go out to the different community colleges and do presentations, and I advise students on the teacher pathway. So that is my job, to basically kind of make it a little bit easier to understand what my title is. I'm an academic advisor. So I also advise students, not only at the community colleges, but at Cal State Fullerton as well, on the teacher pathway. So I have a lot of different jobs. And so the Center for Careers in Teaching is under the College of Education. So I'm going to be talking about a lot of different things, but I'll talk about the Center for Careers in Teaching, and then I'll talk about some things within the College of Education. And I will tell you, I kind of like to move around. I'm trying to stay in one space, but it's kind of hard. But I'll be moving back and forth and let me know what the...
Yeah, no, you're fine. Do your thing.
All right, so I'm just going to do a little video for you guys to kind of hear about the teacher crisis and the need for teachers, so you know you guys are needed.
If there's a, yeah.
Still need more teachers. Good evening. I'm Tim Callahan.
And I'm Jackie Parks. Kern County, like the rest of California, is now facing a teacher shortage. And County Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Christine Frazier, sat down with me to discuss that and another issue that parents will soon see popping up in their mailboxes.
Very, very looking forward. I mean, I was ready to come back a month ago.
Rebecca Peralt has been a teacher for more than 20 years, and her enthusiasm has not diminished.
I can't wait to get to school. I love to see their faces. I love to see children when they finally get something, when they make that connection.
It is a profession that is extremely rewarding.
County Superintendent Dr. Christine Frazier says it's that passion that draws teachers to the classroom.
You see change in kids, and you're able to change the future. And there are very few careers that allow you to do that.
But Kern County, like the rest of California, is facing a significant shortage of teachers, retirements, population growth producing more students, and a lack of new teachers, all taking a toll.
2 to 3 years ago, when we were laying off teachers, we told each other, you know what's going to happen. This discourages students from entering the credential program. And in 3 to 4 years, we're going to have a teacher shortage. And sure enough, here we are.
In the 2009-2010 school year, the state issued just more than 20,000 teaching credentials. In 2013 to 2014, that number plummeted to fewer than 15,000, a 26% drop. Frazier says one solution is providing more quality programs that produce quality teachers.
It's not enough just to promote teaching. We also have to have viable credential programs for potential candidates to be able to enroll.
All right, so that is...
As kids head back.
All right, hello there. All right, so as you guys can see with the video, we need teachers. You guys are needed. So I don't want any of you to ever think, oh, well, I don't know, maybe, you know, it's not really a career for me because I don't think I'm needed out there. You are. So it's just very important to know that not only are you needed, you're going to be taken care of with benefits, with being able to have summers off. There's a lot of great benefits of teaching, but the best benefit to me about teaching is, of course, is that passion, right? You have to have passion to do this job. You have to have a passion to work with children. Because just like you all, we were all children at one point. We're all the future, right? So they are too. So those children that you're going to be teaching, they're definitely the future. When it talked about in the video, Kern County, that's like kind of towards Northern California. But again, it's really across the country. So all across all the states, there are more needs for teachers. Now there's more needs in some areas than others, but we still need teachers constantly coming because there's all those teachers that are still, you know, retiring and things like that. So again, Center for Careers in Teaching. So this is our website. So feel free to take a picture, write the website down right there. But this is basically what it looks like and what you're going to be seeing. I'll tell you up here, I mean, the whole website is great, but right here where it says advising, that's a really great tool to be able to look at, because you'll see some of the tools show what we call an articulation agreement. So it's an agreement between the CSUs, the UCs, and the California community colleges. So we actually, for the certain courses that you may be taking here at Cypress, you will be able to see some of those articulation agreements. Also, who's heard of assist.org? Anybody? Yeah, some of you, okay. Well, that's great. So usually your counselors will probably work with you with assist.org, or maybe you'll go on there to kind of see like, okay, I'm taking this class, is this class equivalent to another class, you know, with whatever school you're deciding to go to, hopefully Cal State Fullerton. So it's a great advising tool. We have a lot of other, you know, resources as well on this page. As you can see, we're really big on diversifying teaching. So we really want to be able to diversify with, you know, men, women, people of color. You want a mixture of everyone. So don't think that, oh, I'm not needed in the, again, particular field because I look like this, or I have an accent, or I speak a different language. No, you're needed too. So just know that. So the Center for Careers in Teaching, so what we do, so we advise students, specifically undergraduate students, on the teaching pathway. So we do GE advising, academic planning. We also do specific teaching credential preparation pathways. So when I was talking about like that advising area, there's certain pathways that I'll get into in a little bit that are a great way to be able to weight test and things like that. So we'll be able to talk to you about that. Another thing that we do, we keep up to date with the California Teaching Credentialing Department on kind of like what's going on with them and how that's going to affect you. So that's the main thing that we do. The other great thing that we have, and I know this may not apply much to you all just because most of you probably live out towards this way, but we do have an Irvine campus, and we have certain majors at the Irvine campus. So if you're thinking to yourself, well, though I live out this way, I don't really like a lot of bad parking, because we have pretty rough parking at Cal State Fullerton. It's a great campus to go to because the campus is pretty easy. The other great thing I do like about the Irvine campus is within your first semester, if you take 6 units at the Irvine campus, you can priority registration. So there's some benefits there, even if you don't live close. Okay, so this is something I'm really, really excited about. So one other thing I want to say really quick before I get into this in regards to our center is we're unique. There's no other Cal State that has a center like us. So we specifically help undergraduate students. We're not the credential department, and we don't have a college of education major, but we get our students from all other majors. So whether it's math, for those of you who are interested in math, or maybe you're wanting to do child and adolescent studies with a concentration in elementary education, we take all of you and we kind of help you again on that pathway. So that's like the main part of us. And if you go to another university, you're probably not going to have the same experience, only because they specifically have their credential departments. Where right when you get there, your junior year, because you guys will be juniors once you get to our university, we're going to be helping you along that pathway up until you actually apply to the credential program. So that's what I really love about us and our uniqueness. So we're very unique. So with that uniqueness, we were like, you know what are we going to do to make a community of our future teachers? Like, we need something to happen. We are a physical space, so we do have computers for all of you. We have free printing, we have coffee, we have, couches and chairs for all of you to lounge around. And we often hear students talk about, oh, well, what class are you in? Or are you in that class? Oh, I think I'm in that class too. Well, what's going on in that class today? I wasn't able to come. The students start to build their own community within the Center for Careers in Teaching. So we're thinking to ourselves, we do workshops here and there, but how are we going to be able to really build this community and make everyone feel like a part of something? So we came up with this, which is Titan Future Teachers. The full name is Titan Future Teachers, a community of educators, because that's what all of you are. You guys are all educators. And so what we're here to do is to help support you on that journey to the teaching profession. So we're having different things like workshops, different events. You'll be able to meet like the faculty that actually will be your faculty once you get into the credential program. Other staff members from the different credentialing departments, which I'll talk about shortly. You'll be able to meet and connect with them. You'll be able to connect with your other peers. The other cool thing that I love is you see this symbol. This is like our logo. We actually have shirts that we gave out for free to all of the students that came to our kickoff event this summer, because this is our inaugural year for Titan Future Teachers. So we have about 275 students that are part of this program. And most of those students are we really were able to recruit them from our new student orientation. So our freshman orientation and our transfer student orientation. So it's a mixture of everybody, and every day we are constantly getting more and more students that are being a part of this program. So if you're looking to get some form of resources and skills and building a community and networking, this would definitely be a great program for you to be a part of. So again, we're really excited about it, and hopefully you come to CSU Fullerton and you can say, hey, you know, I heard about that Time Future Teacher program. Can I join? You know, what's that about? Is it free? It is free. There's no, you know, obligation. It's just we want you guys to be a part of something. So I really wanted to go over the 4 main things that you need in order to get into our credential program. So you need a bachelor's degree, which all of you are working on that right now. You need to fulfill a basic skills requirement, a subject matter requirement, and then depending on which program you're in, there's between 3 to 4 prerequisites in order to get into the program. One thing I do want to mention specifically in regards to the basic skills, because a lot of people get confused on that, is with basic skills, how many of you have heard of the CBEST? Raise your hand. Okay, a lot of you. All right, so the CBEST is a basic skills test. So it's focusing on reading, writing, and up to pre-algebra math. That is 1 out of the 8 different ways to be able to fulfill the basic skills requirement. And I think that a lot of people just think, oh, I have to take the CBEST and I'm fulfilling the requirement. You're fulfilling the basic skills requirement. Now there are other ways, and some of those ways are stated here. So for example, one that may be popular to a lot of you, maybe you went to, when you were in high school, you decided to take the SATs or ACTs, though you ended up coming to the community college. Hey, that's still going to be useful for you, because depending on the scores that you got on your SATs or ACTs, you will fulfill the basic skills requirement. So that's like a big deal. Or if you took the AP test for English and math, that's another way to fulfilling. So there's a lot of different ways, but those are common ways that I would say community college students will be able to fulfill that basic skills requirement without having to take the CBEST, because it does cost. It's like $41 to take the paper-based test, and if you take the computerized test, it's $102. So there's definitely cost to it. That's why, again, I really like to emphasize some of these other ways, because it can save you a little time, a little money, and less stress. So I did want to mention that really quick, because I don't think I emphasized that really as much in the rest of the presentation. Okay, so our credential programs. So the different credential programs we have are our multiple subject credential program, which is focused on elementary education. So that's TK through 6th grade, okay? Really, it says TK through 8th, which technically it is, but for the most part, most schools just have it TK through 5th grade, K through 6th. You'll kind of see different, it depends on the district that you're in regards to kind of how they'll state that. For single subject, it's 7th through 12th grade, so that's like middle school, high school. And then for special education, it's TK, which again is transitional kindergarten, all the way up to 12th grade. Or you'll also see it stated as age 0 to 22. So when you get that special education authorization, or it's also called an educational specialist, you can teach from all spans. But there are specific things such as if you want to be a mild to moderate teacher, or if you special education teacher, or if you want to be more of a moderate to severe special education teacher, you will have to choose kind of at some point. And then, so the credential program itself, it is a 2-semester program. That is our particular traditional programs. Each university is different, but for the most part, 2 semesters is a traditional credential program. It's also known as a 5th year as well. What you're actually going to be learning when you're in that credential program is called pedagogy. So that means how to teach. So do you guys think you're going to be learning about the subject matter in the credential program? No, right? Yeah, no. That's what your bachelor's degree is for. Or if you just feel like you already know the knowledge, because you don't have to major in what you want to teach. You can have a bachelor's degree in anything you want and say, well, I have a bachelor's degree in math, but I want to be an elementary school teacher. You just have to study for the test. And then if you pass the test and go through all those other steps, then you can enter into a credential program. But again, pedagogy, how to teach. What you're going to be learning in the credential program is that, as well as you're going to be doing student teaching. So you're actually going to be in the classroom with a master teacher, and they're going to help you, you know, you're going to learn things like lesson plans, kind of how to work with children with, you know, children are going through psychological things at home, how to work with parents, how to work with the principal. So those are the types of things that you're going to really be learning, not really the subject matter, just how to teach that subject matter. So what do you need to know for CSU future teachers? So I kind of mentioned this earlier, but in California, there's no university, or at least not now, that has an education degree. Now, there's schools that may have education and they may say education science, but they kind of got around that in certain ways. We definitely do not. We do have a minor that we just started, a minor in reading and literacy. So that's something that we're kind of trying to get some education, you know, in there in a different way. But I will tell you this, kind of earlier when I was saying, oh, there's new things going on in the Commission to Teach and Credentialing. Well, one thing that they did say is, yeah, currently California universities don't offer education degrees, but as of now, if they want to, they can. So that's something that's new, that has changed. But it's a lot of work to go through that. So I don't think anytime soon anybody's going to be doing that, but that may be something that happens in the future. So, therefore, like I've already mentioned, we have to utilize other majors. So again, if you're interested in math, then, I mean, it's recommended, but you don't have to maybe major in math. And we do have a math degree that has a concentration focusing on teaching. If you're interested in elementary school, we have like 3 different majors, which I'll talk about later, that have an elementary emphasis in it. So, or maybe you might want a minor in what you want to teach. So there's different ways to get around it. Or again, if you're like, you know what, I want to be a communications major, but I want to teach elementary school, and you feel like you've gotten enough knowledge, let's say within your general education requirements, then you can do that too. So those are kind of conversations that we can have at the Center for Careers in Teaching as we advise you. So, kind of already talked about the recommended majors piece. So, you can start your preparation now at the community college. I think earlier we talked to a student, I think you were doing counseling, what was it, 110? Yeah, and that's focused on teacher prep, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, teaching as a career.
Teaching as a career, okay. And then the Education 200 class, that class is gonna be a particular preparation class where you have to do 45 hours of observation, and it's equivalent to one of our courses, specifically the elementary education course. So there's things like that you can start preparing now while you're here. So then by the time you come to Cal State Fullerton, you're like, okay, now I'm getting into my major. I've done a lot of the work. I just have to finish up, you know, my last 60 or so units. And by the way, if you didn't know already, we will allow you to bring up to 70 transferable units. Well, really, this is for any Cal State. So just know that even if you do go past the 70 units, that's quite all right. Let's say you were doing a minor, those courses can count in that area of the minor. It just won't count for the overall credit, because you do need at least 50 units of Cal State Fullerton courses in order to graduate from Cal State Fullerton. So there's certain requirements like resident requirements, upper division G requirements, things like that. And so after you transfer, so you're gonna have multiple advisors. So you're not gonna only have a Center for Careers and Teaching advisor, but you're also gonna have your faculty advisors. And I will tell you, we are not faculty advisors, though we know certain majors well, like I would say liberal studies and child and adolescent development. I couldn't tell you that this particular course in liberal studies, this is what it's all about and this is how it's connected to the other course. I can tell you about sequencing, but I can't tell you about the other pieces. I'm not the faculty, I'm not teaching those classes. So just know, just don't go to one advisor, go to both. And then you might be a part of different programs like athletics or EOP or other special programs that are out there that you're gonna have to go to that advisor. So just know you will have multiple advisors, which really means that you're gonna have a lot of support. So we're here to support you. That's our job. Just like here at the community colleges, I know there's a lot of different resources to support you. It's the same way at Cal State Fullerton. Okay, so for your education career pipeline, pretty simple. Right now you're at the community college, you're working on your transfer requirements. You're working on, all of your GEs. Again, you need at least 60 transferable units to transfer to Cal State Fullerton, and the Golden 4. Does anybody know what the Golden 4 is? Yeah.
The 4 basic classes you need to take before you transfer to Cal State.
Yeah, to any Cal State. So this is not just related to Cal State Fullerton, but any Cal State. So you're right. And the specific courses are oral communications, written communications, critical thinking, and your math. Okay. So if you guys look on your educational plans that your counselors do, right? So that's going to be your area A1, A2, A3, B4. All right. B4, that last one, that's the math one. Okay. So just know that's all you need. 60 transferable units, Golden 4, in order to get into our university. So again, I kind of talked a little bit about the teacher prep when I talked about the Education 200 class. You can get your AA, 60 transferable units, the CSU plan, the IGETSI plan. Has anybody heard of the IGETSI plan? No? Okay, so the IGETSI plan is a particular pattern or pathway where if you're interested in private schools, the CSUs and UCs, but you don't really know which way you're going to go, I know a lot of counselors like to have their students on those plans because it gives them options. But that's just one. Like I said, there's the CSU plan, there's 60 transferable units, there's a lot of different ways. Okay. So Center for Careers and Teaching, we are going to, again, we're a physical space, okay? So you can hang out. We'll talk to you mainly about your teacher preparation. We'll guide you with major, and we'll talk to you and guide you about minors. So I talked about minors before, like maybe you want to major again in communications, but you want to teach math. So then you want to minor in math. So we can talk to you about those things, okay? So those are other things we do. And then after meeting post, okay? So after you finish up with getting your bachelor's degree, whether it's a bachelor's of arts or a bachelor's of science, then, and we've prepared you to get into that credential program, you're going to do your post-baccalaureate program, which is the credential program. Then maybe after the credential program, you want to go get your master's. Or maybe you're like, you know what, Taliah, I'm really interested in those combined master's and credential program. What's that about? I think I want to do that. So a lot of different options once you really get towards that post-baccalaureate program. The credential program itself, just look at it as, again, an authorization, because that's what it is. It's an authorization to teach. It's not an undergraduate degree. It's not a graduate degree. It's an authorization to teach. Because I know sometimes for some students that can get a little confusing. So the different majors for elementary school teaching. So I know some of you said that you were interested in elementary school. So I mentioned earlier that there's 3 popular majors. These are the most popular majors, I would say, for students that are coming in. But there's 3 majors that specifically have that elementary school pathway. So child and adolescent development and liberal studies, most popular majors that students come into Cal State Fullerton with. And then those 2 also have that elementary school plan. And so does human services. So that's going to be the other major. So human services has a lot of dealing like with the community and kind of like counseling and things like that. So if you're like interested in that, but again want to teach elementary school, that may be a great option for you. But again, those are things that you can talk to your counselors about. Within the teacher prep program, you can talk to them about that. You can talk to us about that. I will be giving you guys my business cards at the end. But it's okay to explore. So I want you guys to be open to, explore different majors and not think that there's just one pathway to get to where you want to go. I will tell you, I'm going to give you a really good example of a major that a lot of students that I've noticed have had lately, but they want to be elementary school teachers. Psychology is very popular major right now. I've had so many students that are like, Taliah, I want to be a psychology major, and I really want to learn that because it really interests me, but I still want to teach elementary school kids, and I want to get that curriculum because I want to know that subject matter in order to teach. Well, I'll say, yeah, you can absolutely still be a psychology major and teach elementary. Well, psychology at our school, it's a low unit major. There's only 41 units in the major. And for all of you that are here at Cypress, if you are a psychology major currently and you're doing the associate's degree to transfer, guess what? That associate's degree to transfer, those classes, 9 of those units will fulfill 9 units within this major. So that makes it even less. So that gives it even more room for us to take that elementary school track from CHAD, liberal studies, and human services and integrate it into, your major of psychology. So it'll just be general electives, but we'll see like, okay, well maybe we can get 4 of the classes, like, you know, in children's literature class, the math for elementary school teachers, physical education, and let's say music for elementary school teachers. We'll get those areas so then you can get that subject matter curriculum. The other stuff you'll have to study, or I'll give you an example like for social sciences. Within our plans, elementary school plans, there's not really any social science in those plans. So a lot of that social science curriculum that you'll get is from your Area D within your educational plans. That's usually all the social sciences, and that's all within your GE. So that's where you're really gonna get a lot of that. But for the most part, you're going to get it within that elementary school plan. But that's just one example of how we can kind of play around with your interests, and like there's not just one way. And a lot of these other majors are low unit majors as well. So there's things that we can work with there. So I kind of wanted to talk really quick about the difference between child and adolescent development and liberal studies, because I think a lot of students kind of don't understand. Some students just see the word child and adolescence and think, oh, that's the major that I need to be in because it says child and it says adolescence. And so therefore that's what, you know, I want to do, because I want to learn about the child. Now, if you genuinely want to learn about the biophysical, socio-emotional, cognitive development, the different individual cultural differences and things like that about the child, I would say then yes, this is the major for you. But if you still love all those things, but you still have other interests, then maybe you want to do something else. So that's kind of what this particular major is about. That's why I kind of just bolded some keywords here. And then with liberal studies, so liberal studies is an interdisciplinary major. It's a mixture of a whole bunch of different things. So it's integrating humanities and arts, natural sciences, social sciences. So you're getting like a lot of history there, history and science and arts, all of that mixed together. And it's basically talking about like how our society was created. So when you're thinking about like children, you would think like, okay, well, what background are they coming from? Because you're going to learn about a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of different things within this major, and that can help you better understand the children that you're working with, because they're going to be coming from all types of different backgrounds within society. So that may be an option for you. It's supposed to be like a really well-rounded type of major. So I hear a lot of, you know, liberal studies. There's different schools that where their education or their credential program is housed under liberal studies. Cal State Fullerton isn't like that, but I know that's why a lot of students are, oh, liberal studies is the way for me to go. So students hear different things, and there's different reasons why one major may be better for you, or a better fit, I guess. That's probably the best word. The best fit for you as a person and what you want to learn. So make sure you do that. Choose the best fit. Okay, so I know we have a lot of middle school and high school teachers, or those who are thinking of doing elementary and then a little bit later going to do middle school and high school. Bless you. These are all the different majors that we have. So really quick, I want to go over to the social sciences, because I know we did specifically have a student that said they were interested in social science. So for social sciences, for those who want to be history majors, you're going to be learning a lot of different things within social sciences, okay? You're not only going to be learning history, but you're going to be learning economics, geography, and political science. And what was your name again?
My name?
Yes.
Oh, Hector.
Hector. So Hector, one thing that I did want to tell you is that I know you mentioned psychology. Well, psychology is under that social sciences.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you major in history and minor in psychology to get that subject matter, you know, competency knowledge. Well, once you go out and get a job, you can say, hey, you know, I minored in psychology, and I know with my credential, I can teach psychology classes as an elective. So that's something you'll be able to do. So psychology is under that realm of social sciences. And for the rest of you who are interested in that as well, I just remember Hector specifically saying he was interested, right, in social sciences. All right, yeah. So that's kind of what the social sciences are about. But you can also major in other things. There's a lot of different options. Maybe you want to learn more about American studies or anthropology, or specifically within one of the ethnic cultures there. So there's a lot of different options for you. And then here are just really all of the other ones. We talk a lot about math, there's science, there's modern languages like Spanish, French, Korean, Mandarin. There's a lot of other different modern languages that we have at our university as well. Physical education, music, So there's a lot of great options for those of you who are interested in single subject. So we have this cool thing called a subject matter preparation program. So what that is it's a sequence of courses to be able to waive that subject matter exam. So remember at the beginning I talked about you need a bachelor's degree, you need a basic skills requirement, and then I said a subject matter requirement. Well, this is talking about one option, not all the options, but one option of how you can fulfill the subject matter requirement. And there's certain majors that specifically have, or not certain majors, I would say. There's certain credentials that have that subject matter competency. And in particular subject matters within those credentials that have it. So for example, for single subjects, all of these courses right here, such as math, English, social science, kinesiology, which is physical education, and all of those different modern languages, they all have subject matter competency. So they have a sequence of courses that will waive the CSET. So the CSET is the other option. That's the California Skills Examination for Teachers. So that's the subject matter test that you would have to take. So again, those sequence of courses will waive the test. Now some of the subject matter competencies work perfectly with our majors at Cal State Fullerton. Okay, I'll give you an example. English. You did the English major, you just do the English major, but you have to make sure you're taking the right classes, which is why you have to make sure you see an academic advisor or your faculty advisor. It perfectly aligns with that subject matter competency. But there's others, like social science, that don't perfectly align with history, for example. So you're going to have to take additional courses. Some of those additional courses you can take here. Like for social science, I'll give an example. We have a course called Geography 100. Here, that might be Geography 1. I know a lot, or maybe it's Geography 100 here. But that's a class that you can take. Macro and micro economics, those are lower division courses that are part of that plan. That you can take here. So when I showed you, remember when I went on to, when I pointed out that Center for Careers in Teaching, and it said the advising on the upper left-hand corner here? Yeah, so your guys' left. So those are where you can kind of see those sheets to see, oh, okay, this is the course that I need to take here at Cypress for this particular subject matter preparation program. But that doesn't mean just because you take everything that's on that list here at Cypress, that doesn't mean there's not additional courses that you need to take once you get to us, because it's a long list of courses. But it's a great option to waive that subject matter requirement, or specifically that CSET requirement. So that's for single subject. For multiple subject, we're working on it. We used to have it, back in the day. We had our multiple subject matter preparation program. But that went away, and now we went back to the state for approval. So just this summer, we sent everything up. Our Child and Adolescent Studies Department and our Liberal Studies Department partnered up together, created the classes that were going to be part of this subject matter program, and sent it up to the state, and we're just waiting. So we hope that it happens soon, but I can't guarantee anything. I hope no later than spring, but I would say the latest fall of next year. But hopefully sooner rather than later, because again, you will not have to take that CSET test. You would just have to take these sequence of courses. But it is more than just a few classes. You're going to take over 120 units, like total, and I'm talking about your courses here as well. It'll maybe be more like, I think they said maybe 135. But again, you won't have to take the test. But if you're like, you know what, I don't want to take those additional courses, you don't have to do the subject matter preparation program. It's just an option.
If the preparation program for multiple subjects isn't available by the spring, do we let our advisor know that we're interested in it so they can try to align us up correctly?
What I would say to do is, because what were you interested in again?
Probably elementary.
Elementary. So just keep on. I wouldn't mention the multiple subject matter preparation program yet, because it's not something that I can't even give you a list of courses yet.
Right, okay.
I would say just continue to follow the elementary education plan.
Okay.
That's what I would consider, because a lot of those courses, like again, children's literature, math for elementary school teachers, those I know for sure those are going to be part of that particular subject matter preparation program.
Okay.
But yeah, until we say, kind of put it out there, then just kind of keep on following your regular plan until then. But with single subject, again, these are the particular subject matters that do have that program now. It's approved. And you can go back, like I said, on that advising link and click on it to find the list of courses for your particular school.